This afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies. As the lady. All right, it's not live now, so okay. So in case I make mistake. Good afternoon, gentlemen of the press. I am Olayinka Adeneho Brimo, the AA Guba candidate for the November 11, 2023 elections of Kogi State. It's imperative that I come before you and before the people of the state to state our position, our stance concerning the just concluded governorship election of November 11, 2023. It is on record that this election was characterized by many issues, bridging of processes, and that has affected the credibility of this election. I'd like to say that from feedbacks that we have received from our agents and collation officers across the state, we have established a lot of processes that were not followed, guidelines broken, a lot of vote buying, and several other issues that questions the credibility of the process of this election. I would like to bring to the world that the results as announced by INEC is not acceptable by us. We are rejecting this result in totality and requesting for fresh elections, because across polling units across the state, so many of votes casted for our party were not counted. So many of our ballots were destroyed. We have evidences of our people that voted, and on the result has been uploaded and been announced, we recorded 0 on so many units that we have all our facts together. It's to this extent that we are requesting that INEC should, as a matter of urgency, cancel this election and prepare for a fresh poll. Having analyzed all of these, I would like to thank our supporters. I want to encourage them to remain focused, law-abiding, and not take laws into their hands, as we are respecter of the law, the rule of law. I will want to adhere to the principle of rule of law in our quest to take our people out of poverty. We will not sacrifice the rule of law because of the determination to create wealth for our people. I mean, we are here to serve our people, and we must do so by going through proper processes. But what we have today, the proper processes have not been established by the authorities. I mean, one of those issues that happened on the election day, I was kept in the cell at the Kaba area office while I was on my way to my community, Akutupakiri. I was arrested on the highway by the EFCC, and our vehicles were searched. Nothing incriminating was found, and they released us at the first instance. And then the next thing, the vehicle overtook us again when I had to wait at the next checkpoint where they did the second round of search. And then they saw leftover of our campaign flyers in the vehicle that had a sample ballot paper, just as part of the materials we used then while campaign was on for voter education. Now, this was taken and was called the ballot paper. These, I believe, anyone and everyone, even a primary school student that can read simple English and understand sample ballot paper, clearly written and boldly written on it, will be able to read and understand this. This was used against us, and we were marched into the cell. Our phones were collected, my very self, my brother, all our aides, all of us, the media team, were all locked up with the security personnel that were with us. As I speak to you this moment, the security personnel are still in police detention, and they have not been released up till this moment. This is just to plead to the authorities that we must follow the rule of law, we must respect the rule of law, and for INEC to remain unbiased in these processes. And the only way that INEC can clear themselves of this is to cancel this election. If you go on the IREV, you will see clearly on so many units, the accredited voters is way lower than the number of votes cast. The accredited voters is way lower than the votes declared by INEC. And it's clear on the IREV portal. And we wonder why these results will be announced. However, this point our demand is clear. We are not accepting these results. We are not going to allow this result to stand. If INEC will not cancel this election in order for fresh polls across the entire state, we will proceed to ask for redress in the court of law. Thank you. Yes, I told them they were arrested on the highway, not on an arterial or a collector road. So, not being arrested on a collector road or an arterial road shows the fact that we're not heading to a polling unit. You know, the other is no politician should be allowed to go with police escort to the polling units. And we're not going to the polling units. We're on the highway because of the security risk. And the reason why I couldn't have slept in any part of the state other than Lokoja. On so many occasions, I leave Lokoja in the night to come and sleep in Abuja because of the security risk in the state. In the hotel where we're lodged, we had so many of the thugs, known thugs in the state that were equally lodged in different rooms in the same hotel. And this is evident by the fact that some of them were actually arrested in the east by the military. People that left the same hotel. So, I mean, the risk of my life was very high, and there was no way I could have been able to go to sleep in any other part of the state other than Lokoja, where I feel a little bit safer, because it's easier to be able to get backup in terms of security personnel if there's any form of armed evasion. And however, when I don't feel safe in Lokoja, I still go ahead to move to Abuja, to sleep in Abuja, and then wake up in the morning and get back to Lokoja to go for my campaigns. Now, this is what has happened. And when it comes to the issue of the personnel accompanying me to the polling unit, is totally false. They were not accompanying me to the polling unit. They were arrested on the highway. Ordinarily, we should have gotten to the place earlier, before 6 a.m. But due to the traffic of trucks at Kaba Junction and heavy traffic around Obajana after Kaba Junction, we were there for several hours and we couldn't maneuver our way out of that place. And that was the reason why we delayed. And it was important for us to ensure that we get to my local government and get to my community, at least for people to see, me coming there, because if that was not done, it would have been termed to be that on election day, I didn't even go out to either vote for myself or at least to have been seen, in my community on the day of election. And that's what has happened. My statement, I wrote my statement in the area command in Kaba Division before I was released, and then the other members of our team were released as well, except for the security personnel that they've held in their custody. I hope they will not find me for sleeping.